Hey guys, this is Quadros bringing you another narrated Wi-Fi battle, and this is a match that I had against another buddy of mine. I believe it's the same person. You guys, I've seen countless battles against her already, but this is a more serious team. As you can see, I'm using a Rain team and a Notori, which I really despise using. But I really wanted to try a Rain team, and I really wanted to test out a Life Orb, Milotic, and that was basically the purpose of using this team here. So, the match started now. She led off with a Whimsicots, and I led off with my Politoed, just set up the Rain as they typically do. And since I'm especially defensive Politoed and do not want this thing setting up subs and lead seeding right off the bat, I'm going to Encore it to cripple it straight away. And that that play right there really saved me loads of headaches. And I'm basically going to keep my Politoed throughout the majority of the match until that thing is dead, because it really is my main counter to that Whimsicott. And as if you guys do not know, Whimsicott is one of the most annoying prankster users in the entire game, despite me loving it to death. So anyways, I had to switch to my Notori to start setting up some spikes, and actually I make an over prediction here. I thought that she would fear the obvious grass move, but I don't know, I guess she was predicting me to do something else, and yeah, either way it kind of worked out for her since all I did was lead seed. But I'm not going to over-predict again, and I'm just going to start setting up my spikes now so I don't waste any turns doing nonsense. And in comes the Chandelure. Again, I don't want to risk getting hit with freaking Fire Blast, despite it being in the rain, and she actually predicts me to predict that and go for the Energy Ball, which was a good move on her part. I have like, what, 3 other water users on this team aside from my Politoed, so it's going to hit a lot of things for some really good damage, because I believe that thing is Specs and Modest, so that's gonna hurt a lot. So, but this is my special defensive wall, and like I said before, it takes a very well. I didn't say that before, but as you saw there, it takes that Energy Ball very well. Here, I'm gonna go for another Encore because, again, even if she does go for the Leech Seed, she's gonna be locked into it. I don't want to risk her being able to switch up moves, especially with that prankster ability, so I'm going to Encore or whatever the hell she decides to go for. And since she goes for lead seed, I'm going to take the opportunity to switch right back up into my Notori to set up some more spikes. If she wants to stay in and go for another lead seed predicting my switch, it's not going to work because it's Notori and she's going to be locked into the lead seed, so she can't do shit. So yeah, she goes for another lead seed and I get a free switch into my Notori. And I'm just gonna go for spikes because that's what Notoris do. They set up leech seeds, they spike up and stealth rock and all the other nonsense. Now here, I believe I stay in because I don't feel like switching back and forth against this Chandelure, and I'm thinking to myself, whatever, Fire Blast in the rain, it shouldn't kill because this is my specially defensive wall. No, Notori cannot take a Fire Blast from a Chandelure in the freaking rain. My God, that right there really confused the hell out of me. I knew it was Specs. I think I knew it was Mars too, but shit, I was not expecting to die from that. Either way, now I know never ever to leave a freaking Notori on a Chandelure, even in the rain. And yeah, so I decided to switch to my Milotic because my Notori died. I have the rain up. It's Life Orb. It'll do a lot of damage to whatever the hell decides to switch in. If she even, because it would be stupid for her to stay in on Milotic with Chandelure. And yeah, it almost kills that Whimsicott, which probably has max special defense and max defense. And not wanting to risk her being not wanting to risk missing with Hydro Pump because it has 85 accuracy, I would go for the Ice Beam just to finish it off as soon as possible. And that's dead Whimsicotts, and that's big threats right out of the way. I don't have to worry about that thing anymore. So in comes her fat bitch. I decided to switch into my Bubba Gump. I have no idea why I named this thing that, but I did. And yeah, since it's a Chansey, I figured, okay, I'll start setting up. I get a free sub up now because she can't really do much to me other than Seismic Toss, and she decided to switch out right away anyway, so I'll get the free sub. But in comes the Swampert, and by looking at her team structure, I'm pretty damn sure this is her physical wall. And I do not want to start setting up Swords Dances on a physical wall, so I'm just going to start firing up Drain Punches until she takes out my sub, do as much damage as possible, you know, before I switch out. But she goes for Surf, and Yeah, I can only assume that she wasn't aware of the fact that dry skin absorbs water moves, and to be perfectly honest, I was not aware of that either until I saw that happen. I kind of thought it was just, you know, the equivalent of rain dish, I guess. I never thought much into it or read about the skill much. But yeah, had I known she would have went for surf, I would have obviously went for swords dance. But yeah, I just fire off another drain punch and call it a day. Get that thing to low yellow-ish kind of, and just decide to switch into my my cyborg turtle. And I honestly do not remember if this thing is my physical wall or my special, because I have two Blastoises, and I don't commonly use the thing, but I figured since I'm using a rain team and I kind of like Blastoise, why not try it out? It more than likely is my physical, because given the rest of my team, it would be stupid for me to bring another specially defensive thing. But yeah, I go for Toxic now, not really predicting anything whatsoever. But and in comes the freaking Frostlass, and I cannot do anything to this thing with my Blastoise because all I have is Toxic, Protect. What else do I have? Toxic, Protect, Roar, and something else. Don't even know. But Rapid Spin. There we go. So yeah, I can't really do anything to that Frostlass. So I just decided to roar it out into something else that I might be able to handle better. And I don't want that thing setting up spikes. So yeah, in comes the Oberwise, and I decided to send back into my Politoed. Maybe I was actually, I have no idea why I sent in my Politoed, since it probably would have been wiser just to Toxic that thing and roar it out again so that I could, you know, phase out more things and rack up the spikes damage. But I decided not to do that, I guess. My Politoed takes that Blizzard surprisingly well. I mean, it's my especially defensive Politoed, but shits, I really thought that a stab Blizzard from that thing would do way more damage, but it doesn't. So yeah, in comes the Blissey again, and I'm gonna do what I did. Actually, I go for Protect to get more HP, and 69 HP. Is that no? Never mind. Anyways, I decide to go for Protect to get back more leftovers recovery, and just to see what she's gonna do. I see that she's going for Seismic Toxes, so I'm gonna take the opportunity to switch into my Scizor, and to yeah, to kind of scare her out with this potential superpower. In hindsight, I really should have just switched into my, I don't even know. I think what I should have done was just let my Politoed die and then get a free switch into my into my Bubblegump and just set up if not a sub, set up a Swords Dance and then call it a day from there. But I decided not to do that, and actually I guess she predicts me to overpredict and go for the U-turn because she stays in on a freaking Scizor. And I definitely carry a superpower because I don't want to deal with Blissies like this, but I don't know. I guess she didn't care about her Blissey at this point, or she predicted me to go for U-turn. But if she did predict me if she did predict me to go for U-turn, then her going for Toxic kind of surprises me, because whenever somebody sees a Blissey, they want to take that thing out as soon as possible with a physical attacker. And my only two physical attackers on my team are my Bubblegump and my Scizor. One's a Steel type, which obviously will not be affected by Toxic, and then the other is part Poison, which again will not be affected by Toxic. So I'm really not sure what she was predicting there, but yeah, either way I get I don't even know if I took out the Blissey since I kind of looked away for a second. But yeah, I see a Frostlass now, and I think I go for Sucker Punch just because I do not want to switch out after getting Swords Dance up. And I knew in the back of my mind that she would want to set up more spikes, even though the game's almost over, but I don't know. Either way, I decided to switch into my Crab Legs because I know that she's going to try to get the third layer of spikes up, and at this point in the game, I want to take out as many things as possible, and this is what Choice Band Scizor is good at doing. Priority Technician boosted, Bullet Punch, Choice Band, it wrecks everything late game after spikes damage and all that other nonsense racks up. And yeah, Scizor is actually one of my favorite Pokemon. I don't commonly use it simply because I don't really stand it or use that much. I mostly just bring in random shits and whatnot. But next couple matches I do are kind of more serious in nature, kind of sort of. I don't in essence whore out, but hey, whatever. So knowing that my Scizor cannot take out her Chandelure at this range, I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch before locking my scissor into bullet punch, and that essentially is the game. I take out the rest of the stuff with bullet punch, and yeah. Now that the match is pretty much over, I want to ask anybody who's watching this, what exactly would you like to see me do? Because I noticed I don't, in the beginning I got more comments and ratings beforehand, and I'm not sure exactly. I don't know. Just tell me what you'd like to see. I enjoy hearing that in the comments, and I'll decide what to do with my channel from there. And yeah, see you guys later. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the narration in the match. Yeah, peace out.